Hi, and welcome back to the Vital Vibes podcast. I'm Dr. Kelley Coble. I'm here with my husband, Ian,
Hi there.
and we are actually at the beach today.
Yes, we are.
I always want to start this podcast by saying that I am a holistic and biological dentist and healthcare professional, but this podcast is for informational purposes only and should never be construed as medical advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started.
Okay. Well, we're at the beach today, as mentioned, and I don't know. Do you want to tell our guests a little bit about the evolution of episode two?
Yes, I do. Because we already actually recorded episode 2.
Hmm.
And after thinking about it, and especially after coming to the beach,
Hmm.
we're here because my daughter's graduating from college. Another biology nerd created from to better this planet.
Yeah.
I couldn't be prouder. But coming to the beach really made me think about the foundation for our podcast. In order to understand the original episode 2, which was all about teeth, we actually decided that we were going to create a podcast based on the top 5 questions ish that people have about their mouth. But we're really putting the cart before the horse because you cannot understand the things that I would love to talk about without this episode.
Yeah.
So,
We need a foundation for your scientific view and how you approach your practice and science in order to be able to then have the actual discussion about those topics.
that's right.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to be a science episode. That should come later. Um, but there does need to be some foundational information so that you can understand what we're talking about in the future. And I apologize. Being at the beach, we might have some interruptions.
I will, yes, I'll equally apologize. We have the sand sweeper doing the boardwalk right outside right now, and we've got kids next door that are playing. So if from time to time we hit pause and there's a stutter in either audio or video, it's because we didn't want you to hear a screaming toddler, a leaf blower, or a plane taking out of John Wayne Airport.
And wow, how appropriate.
Yeah,
Like
it
I'm
does
here.
tie into this, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. I really want this episode to be about helping you understand how the environmental factors that surround you are the one of the most important parts about human biology. And what better place to do this than Southern California?
Mhm.
We've got this weird the sun and the ocean is paramount for what I want to talk about, water and sun.
Mhm.
But then you've also got this like massive population that's like heavily crowded in a very dense population
Incredibly.
and so many distractions at any given moment, like people going by, airplanes, boats. We just saw a diesel boat
Yeah, the
like
tugboat pushing a barge, but just belching.
belching smoke.
Hmm.
And in the same moment, we saw a seal swimming in the water and coming up on land and
Hmm.
some dolphins. And it's like, how does all of this relate to human biology?
Well, and yeah, where do they come together and where do they conflict with one another?
And the foundation for this podcast is like, it really does come together with light and water.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about like woo woo stuff here.
No.
Yes, I am.
Well, only from the standpoint that in our current society, it's become hippie or woo-woo. It's still biologically, scientifically proven, but I feel as our world and our culture and society becomes more and more sort of tied to this rat race and dependent on technology and phones and everything, it's forcing them inside into a different world than we were meant to be, and it's become normalized that this
Yeah,
is the way that we're supposed to be when it's clearly not.
it's clearly not. And the longer I study health and go through my own personal health journeys, the more I realize that what we consider now to be alternative lifestyles,
Hmm.
uh, living in nature, I mean, when did that actually become alternative?
Hmm.
Because we are natural beings who were born and we developed on planet Earth as organisms of planet Earth.
Hmm.
So when did it become, here's one of those planes.
Yep.
When did it become alternative to live with the rhythm of the planet that we developed from?
Hmm. And conversely, when did it become normalized to not be in line with that rhythm?
When did it become normalized to not be in that rhythm?
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's what I want to talk about today because it is the foundation for everything that we're going to talk about moving forward. Um, why why in medicine do we only look at symptoms?
Hmm.
Um, and we ignore the environment that our body exists in. I mean, do you ever go to the doctor and they're like, "How much time do you spend indoors?" And
I don't think I've ever had that question asked from a medical provider, and I feel like I have a great primary physician, but I know that's never been a question that's been asked.
we do. We have a great primary physician.
Hmm.
I have an integrative doctor, and I also have a traditional or what I'm going to refer to as like a symptoms based
Okay.
doctor, which is what I would call our traditional healthcare system.
Hmm.
I mean, I came up with a bunch of words for symptom based medicine. Some people call it reactive medicine.
Okay.
So we're reacting to things that have already happened in the body. Some people call it reductionalism medicine, industrialized healthcare. I don't think it really matters. It has a place. Like, I'm not going to argue with some of the things that we have developed in traditional medicine. And I'm certainly not going to, poo poo our primary care doctor.
Oh God, no.
He brings a lot to the table.
Absolutely. But I
Eh,
think we were talking about it in anymore. There is a need to not just rely on one single provider anymore. I think the world that we are exposed to and that we are a part of has become infinitely more complex. And to just say that one person can do it all is definitely probably more than is capable of any one individual.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
Hmm.
And I think I also disagree with that because we can rely on one person, and that is our own self.
Okay, but yeah, phrased. Yeah, I get that. Hmm.
Um, but you're right. Like in medicine, there is a time and a place for, I don't know if we want to call it symptom based medicine.
Okay,
But let's just do that for now.
sure,
There is a time and a place for that. And I do know that our primary care doctor has the greatest intentions.
absolutely.
And I'm going to be honest, I've been in healthcare for over 25 years, and every provider I've ever met, with very, very few exceptions, is so incredibly committed to their work.
Hmm.
And they're trying to do no harm. Like their whole life, honestly, their whole life revolves around really helping others.
Dedicated to their
Dedication.
profession, to their patients, to their craft. Yeah.
But I think they have it wrong.
Hmm.
And they don't even know they have it wrong.
It's not deliberate. It's not intentional.
No, I had it wrong.
Yeah.
We're we're going off of our training,
Hmm.
and training is based on the training before that training.
Hmm.
So very few times are people actually like looking outside the box to see like what can we add or subtract from the training that's been there all this time. I mean, I learned dentistry based on the principles of J.V. Black, who was a dentist, like I'm talking 100 years ago,
Hmm.
and we still learn those principles.
Yeah. They're
Fine.
100 years old.
They're 100 years old.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Sorry there.
there it is.
We've got the Rat Pack going by on their bike.
Cute.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to see kids outside on their bike. I don't care.
it's pretty rad. Unsupervised too. How rad. I
Unsupervised.
know. Oh,
What will
maybe not.
happen?
There we go. Just far
Oh,
behind.
there's their
Yeah.
parents. Okay. Um, so yeah, the traditional way that we have practiced medicine is helpful. But there has to be some new information coming in, and there is. It just takes so long
It's
to
slow
integrate it.
to integrate.
Honestly, like if you're talking about public health takes like 20 years to get approved and out to the public.
Hmm.
Even in this day and age with all the things we have, big changes don't happen for like 10 to 20 years.
On the research that is needed in order for it to be integrated into current modern medicine, it's got to go through so many research and clinical trials, but that's not an easy thing. It is financed by big pharma.
Yeah.
It requires funding. And if someone can't profit off of the research, then who is paying for the research? Because that's
Yes.
very expensive. And so, and also, I know we were talking about like if you've got established doctors or physicians or whoever's leading the research, it's most often their students,
Yeah.
their people studying under them. It's not the high up doing the research. So
Yeah.
you've got the people that might have the new ideas, but they're being told how to conduct research from
Hundreds of
up
times.
above from a school of thought that is 30, 40, 50 years older and not, hey, what direction might we be missing here?
100%. Um, Clinical trials are extremely expensive.
Hmm.
So can we just not forget clinical trials, but can we just minimize the importance that we're putting on clinical trials? Like, where's the study? Where's the study? Where's the study? Let's think differently.
Hmm.
Let's think, where is the independent thinking?
Hmm.
I mean, Albert Einstein, he just did independent thinking
Hmm.
and he came up with ideas that are more important than almost any researcher has ever done in the lab.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying he didn't do lab work, but let's use our brain. Let's think differently. And honestly, you're right. Like the professors who taught me and we did the research with, like you don't have autonomy in their research project.
Hmm.
If you're going to do a research project with a professor, you're going to do
What research they want.
what research you want them to do. And if you want to get a job, you're going to be complicit. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
You're going to go with what's the norm. Because if you are really stepping far outside the realm of what's already like considered normal biology, um, you're going to be not accepted
Yeah.
and you're not going to get a job, right?
Hmm.
So,
And
um,
there's not a whole lot of people that have the financial freedom to just, well,
no.
I'm going to do whatever I want and study however I want. We all have,
Mhm.
including the people that could be doing groundbreaking research,
Yeah.
we still have to have that, like, how am I going to make ends meet? How am I
And
going to put food on the table?
some of the greatest research that I've seen come out of the last 100 years hasn't, some of it's been recognized
Hmm.
and some of it, like the people almost died crazy because it wasn't until after they passed away that we see the value in their ideas that they had.
Hmm.
So, yes, there will be clinical trials that we will discuss and papers in the future in this podcast,
Hmm.
but we need to think deeper
Okay.
and we need to see the limitations that are in our current society with big pharma paying for clinical trials, frankly.
Hmm.
It's just not going to give us the perfect answer. It's going to give us the answers that make money.
Okay.
And that is the reality. And we all know it, I think.
And if we don't know it, at least take a moment to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we can talk about fixing the body, we need to talk about like some other things that make the body run
Hmm.
and the energetics of the body being more than just chemistry and treatments being more than just changing the chemistry of the body. So, what is causing the symptoms that people are having? Not like, how do we fix the symptom or cover up the symptom? What medication can we deliver to the patient? What chemistry can we alter in the human body to make the patient feel better? But what is deeper? Let's go so much deeper than the chemistry.
Mhm.
Let's go down to the intracellular level,
Okay.
the actual like quantum. I don't want to get scientific, but the quantum physics of what is really going on the deep cellular level. Because if we understand the very basics of that,
Hmm.
I think everything we talk about in this podcast will resonate more
I
deeply.
think it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
As we said, this is sort of laying the foundation. Uh, our intro to the podcast last week was sort of what to expect, and now that we've sort of set an expectation and a summary of what we can discuss, okay, now let's set the substructure, the subfloor that we build upon, the foundational knowledge that's needed in order to sort of proceed,
Yeah,
dive deeper. But we need that foundation first.
I agree. Let's get curious.
Hmm.
What is what is upstream of all this other stuff? Um, let's talk about things like light and our environment and circadian rhythm and water and let's talk about our mitochondria. Let's really go upstream from the basics of like symptom-based medicine.
Okay.
It's just funny to me that we don't think the environment affects us or we don't think about our environment like we used to.
Okay.
I think we've just taken for granted that we are earth creatures and we developed on planet earth with just a couple of constants, and humans developed with really one constant in the last thousands of years, and that is the sun. And we've been taught that the sun is dangerous and harmful. And I want to completely reframe it as we would cannot live without the sun.
Hmm.
It is the constant in our universe. It is the way that our body developed. We are photosynthetic beings in a way,
Hmm.
much like plants. And I mean, what happens if you take away water and sun and temperature of a plant? It can't, I mean, it just can't function. It can't live. And you
Yeah.
see it wilt and you see it die.
Yeah. Even if you took water off the table, you,
Even if you took water off the
if
table.
you water that thing perfectly, if you
Yeah.
take sun away, there isn't a plant that can survive.
No. And I want to propose that we also photosynthesize in a different way than plants,
Hmm.
but nevertheless, like there is no life without the sun.
Hmm. We are still deriving energy, much like a plant is, from
Yeah.
the solar energy that's out there.
And I'm going to go deeper and I'm going to say that we make our own light
Okay.
within our bodies and that our bodies run um similar to a semiconductor. And I don't think we need to really go into what a semiconductor is, but I will say like we all know what one is because our phone is a semiconductor.
Okay.
And it's just a way of organizing information and transmitting information quickly. And I think our bodies do the same thing. But when that transmission is blocked or not coherent, and that's a word I'll probably use a lot in the future,
Blocked
coherence,
coherence.
um, then we get disease. So I want to get away from symptoms-based medicine is not making us healthier.
Hmm.
People are sicker than ever before. So I really want to look deeper than just symptoms. What is going on at the cellular level that we have missed the boat on?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
small stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to propose, like, honestly, that if we're disconnected from our evolution, then we're not going to thrive.
Hmm.
So being here at the beach and feeling like the ozone from the water that comes off of the ocean and feeling the sun on our body, that makes people feel good.
Hmm.
And it's more than just chemical.
Okay.
I believe there's an actual exchange of photons going on. And again, I don't want to get into the science, but what if vacation was more than just like, oh, it's time to relax?
Hmm.
What if vacation was actually charging our battery?
Hmm.
Like physically
Physically and
charging
not
our
from the
battery.
the Western construct of mentally recharging that
Right.
most people think of when they go on vacation. I'm mentally taking a opportunity to relax and recharge my battery, but not from that perspective, from the perspective of you actually are recharging the physical battery that
Yeah.
is within you.
Yeah. So it's not just, oh, I got away from work. I'm spending time with my kids. People are drawn to the beach.
Mhm.
And that's because the beach has the two components, the main two components of life, water and light. And getting to the beach does more than just relax us mentally. It physically recharges the body on a battery level. And I don't know that it's the only thing on planet Earth that helps us understand what I'm like trying to explain. There are so many things that we can't physically see, but we do intuitively feel.
Yeah, and just because we can't physically see it does not mean that it's not going on, that it's not scientifically happening. There's plenty of things that we can't see that we know
Yeah.
to be true. So, yeah.
I mean, x-rays. So if you were to sit in front of a x-ray machine and be radiated
Mhm.
over and over, it will damage your body.
You're not
You
going to see it.
cannot see it.
Yeah. But it's,
Yeah.
and I think everyone would probably agree with that. There's not going to be any debate there.
No,
That the ability to see something happening isn't what makes it real or not real.
not even a little, because our ability to see is limited to a certain spectrum of light,
Hmm.
but there is a spectrum below and above what we can see that we know is there. It's already
Yeah.
been proven. Um, and it affects the way that our body works.
Mhm.
And maybe our body sees it, even if our eyes don't.
Okay.
And I can think of a lot of examples of things that we can't see, but we know are true. Um, that would help explain like how our body and animal bodies relate to the earth.
Hmm.
So the first thing that like came to my mind when we were down here, we were watching the birds, and I'm like, oh, migratory birds.
Hmm.
It's been shown that they move with the magnet of the planet.
Hmm.
Like they go across oceans, continents, like they navigate via something that we can't see.
Hmm.
And they still find their way back thousands of miles, any migratory animal.
Yeah, we talked about that with like humpback whales or salmon or
Yeah.
yeah, any migratory animal that can pinpoint exactly where they go every year to make new babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we thought it was smell. So
Hmm.
salmon, they go back to their birthplace via smell.
Hmm.
Maybe. I mean, that's part of it, but it doesn't explain the migratory pattern of other animals and birds.
Hmm.
They're not simply following a trail of smell.
No, there's something else going on, and we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. And we know it relates to magnetism,
Yeah.
and they're following a magnetic pattern of the earth. It affects birds, it affects people.
Mm.
The magnetism of the earth affects people. Um, Look at sharks. They find their prey through sensing them magnetically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Echolocation of bats. It's not something we can see, but that's how bats see.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than just going to a place and saying, "Ooh, this feels weird to me." It's a real there's a real energetic field around us that affects the way our body acts,
Mm-hmm.
and it affects our health. And if we ignore it, we're sunk.
Do you
We've
want
already
to
seen that.
do you want to talk a little bit about how this energy that you're referring to then translates or is related to what this podcast is and what the way you approach medicine?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
I mean, I think I decided a long time ago. So during COVID 2020, um, I had a lot of time on my hands. I was trying to keep my business alive. I was still working from home. I even went in to see some patients when I had to go in.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of time to make waffles.
Your daily habit.
I ate waffles every day, which is a problem in and of itself.
No, it's a good thing.
But I also read like book after book after book on physics. Uh, and I didn't know why at the time, but I do know why now.
Mhm.
Because quantum physics, the books I was reading, they explain more about our body than, like, say, the average, like, say, Krebs cycle, or the things that we think of as being the biological stepping stones of how we make energy.
Mhm.
Um, and so I feel like we get our energy and produce our energy from a lot more than just like the basic chemicals. The environment is more important than we realize. And I think we've all seen as our environment has changed and continues to change that our bodies have changed and we're not able to keep up with the rapid speed of our changing environment. I mean, the light bulb was invented not so long in human history, and now we are surrounded by light that we were never designed to see.
Mhm.
So something as simple as the lighting that you live in has a tremendous effect on the cells and the mitochondria in your body. And if we don't understand those basic premises, it makes it hard for me to explain tooth decay.
Okay. But then explain a little bit of it because I think we touch upon it, but give our listeners a little bit more of an idea
Sure.
of of that energy. Okay, well, then how does the light or ocean or
Yeah,
water, how does it affect these things that then in turn affect our mitochondria, which is the energy producer of our bodies?
that's right.
Mhm.
Um, the internal health of our cells affects every part of our biology and our health. So you can't have healthy heart
Mhm.
or healthy teeth or a healthy internal system if the cellular level is damaged.
Mhm.
And there are things in our environment that are damaging the cellular level of our health that we can't see or we didn't know was an issue. So, light that we were never designed to live under.
Mhm.
I mean, we evolved under the sun.
Mhm.
We didn't evolve under a light bulb.
Mhm.
So our body is seeing that light very differently than it used to when we lived outside.
Okay.
And I know some of my patients, they are such hard workers. Like we live in a tech heavy
Oh yeah, the
area.
Seattle area is with Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, you name it. We
Yeah.
have all of the big heavy tech hitters, and
Mhm.
with that means a lot of people that have to work indoors 12 plus hours a day, and they're not in front of a window, and they're in front of a computer screen instead.
Mhm.
So,
Let's
how,
use that.
yeah,
Let's talk about people who don't see the light of day.
okay.
Because a lot of my patients, they they get up at the crack of dawn, they're on their computers from the minute they wake up. They're not waking up with the natural rhythm of the planet.
Okay.
They're going to work in a artificial environment, artificial light. They never go outside. They don't see the sunrise.
Hmm. So let's unpack two things there.
Yeah,
You're talking about not starting off your day with natural light. So
yeah,
that's going into circadian rhythm.
that's right.
Okay. Explain a little bit about that for us, please.
So, well, here's another thing you can't see, but we've all felt it, and that would be jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the rhythm of our body is different from the place that we're at,
Mm-hmm.
when we travel across the world, our body chemistry gets messed up.
Yeah.
We feel tired, we feel off because we're not following the circadian rhythm that we're used to.
Yeah. And what sets that circadian rhythm usually?
Light,
Light. So the rise of the sun,
the
that
rise
first
of the sun.
exposure of
Yeah,
sun at the start of the day that sets the body's clock in motion, knowing that, okay, now the day has begun.
that's right. And we only have so many sunrises in our life. And when we miss the sunrise, we miss the body being told that it's time to start certain processes.
Okay. So then if we're missing that sunrise, we're missing that biological cue,
Yes.
physics cue
Yeah,
that the
physics.
day has begun, and that already is starting us off in a bad place. But then we sit inside without a window and we're under artificial light instead of natural light. Um, what does that do to the body?
I mean, you can imagine that things are not done the same in the
Okay.
body. The the you miss the sunrise, you're inside, you might have a window,
Hmm.
but it's got a coating on it to protect you from the sun. So you're not actually getting any of the physical rays from the sun that we're used to.
Hmm.
Then you go into your job inside under artificial light. You might skip your lunch because most our patients do.
Hmm.
They just work inside. And then by the time they leave work, it can be dark and they've been looking at a computer all day.
Hmm.
So not only have they missed the natural radiation, and I want to use that as a good word, from the sun, but they have been inundated with artificial light, which there's flicker that you can't see. And there are things that disturb the biology that, again, we can't see.
I know there was a lot of work done by Dr. Glenn Jeffrey on the quality of light and how that affects us, especially in the modern world with like LED light being the almost exclusive source if you were inside now, and how that differs from incandescent light and before that, torch light, light by fire.
Sure.
And what is it that in like a situation that we're talking about of, a patient that's working in a tech building,
Yeah.
what is happening if they're just under LED light versus, uh, well, 20 or 30 years ago it was incandescent, but at least incandescent was a better form of light source, and but we've pivoted to LED because it's more energy efficient, but that doesn't mean that it's a healthier alternative.
No. I would say it's much unhealthier.
Yeah.
We aren't getting the photon balance
Hmm.
that our bodies need. And so if you don't follow the rhythm of the sun, you pay.
Hmm.
Your body pays a price
Hmm.
and your sleep will be disturbed. And at the cellular level, your mitochondria can get less efficient,
Because they require energy of a certain wavelength in order to recharge.
essentially.
Yeah. And if we're only giving it light of a wavelength that is artificial and not what we were intended to have of a full spectrum, that the mitochondria, the energy producers of our body, are not getting the energy that they need in order to power the body to keep it healthy.
That's that is in essence
Okay,
what I'm talking about.
sure.
And not just are we not getting the photon exchange that we're looking for from the sun, but we're also surrounded by blue light.
Hmm.
So light comes in wavelengths,
Hmm.
um, and some wavelengths being better for our body than others. And we're constantly sitting in front of a screen,
Hmm.
a phone. Anything that emits blue light confuses the natural rhythm of our
That
body.
shorter wavelength light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's make matters a little bit worse. Let's throw some kids into the mix
Okay.
because kids don't have the myelin support that adults have in their body. So they're going to be a lot more sensitive
Hmm.
to the wrong wavelengths of light.
Okay.
And so we're using, we've all put our kids in front of a screen
Hmm.
when we're
Oh
busy
God, yes.
or when
Life happens.
we go out to dinner,
Hmm.
or it just has become so commonplace now that we just assume, and no one here wants anything less than the best for their kids.
No.
But if you don't know, you don't know.
Hmm.
And so the more we rely on the screen for entertaining our children, the more we're going to see the problems that we're seeing with the development of kids today,
Hmm. So not just for adults, but for children as well.
especially for
Hmm.
children.
So I know we've been talking about, our 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 patients or our friends that are working
Yeah.
indoors, but now we're carrying it even deeper to how this light also affects
Yeah.
the development of young minds.
It's exponential in kids.
Hmm.
And kids are on who are on their screen all day, kids who are on their phone all day, they're in front of a computer all day, they're in school, surrounded by the electrical noise,
Hmm.
I'm going to call it,
Okay.
of a building that's heavily reliant on electricity. We have created a perfect storm for our kids.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, if you look in the literature, there is no mention of autism in indigenous population.
Hmm.
It's not only been created as a result of the lifestyle that we have now, but I would go so far as to say it's the cause.
Hmm.
And I think we're going to see that exponentially. We already have. I think I saw a study that in California, which I would consider, I love it. I love the beach here.
Yeah.
But with all the electrical noise and the disruption in the rhythm of our body, I think 1 in 5 children in California have been diagnosed with some form of autism.
Okay.
And I know the diagnosis has gotten better,
Hmm.
but to me, that's pretty staggering.
Especially if you compare it to, as you said, Aboriginal societies or the statistics of, say, 50 years ago.
Yeah, I've seen a change in my patients,
Mm, yes,
a big change.
in the frequency, in the number of them for sure.
I would say when a young adult or child walks into my practice now, There's a very high probability that they are suffering from some form of autism,
Yeah. I'd almost say as high as 50%.
at least.
Yeah.
And I did not see that when I first started practicing.
No.
There's been a change,
Hmm.
and I think we've all seen it.
Hmm.
So it's affecting our children more than it's affecting even us as adults.
Hmm.
They're just more sensitive, not having the myelin protection that we have.
Talk a little bit about myelin protection.
Uh, I will.
Little cliff notes to open then.
They haven't developed their myelin sheath. I and don't quote me on the age, but until their early 20s.
Okay. And what does the myelin sheath do?
It's a protection of the nervous system.
Okay.
So they don't have as much built-in protection against the blue light that we do as
Hmm.
adults.
Okay.
And even, as adults, we don't have the protection as well because we were never designed to live under the light and live inside. Just like we were never designed to eat some of the things we're eating,
Yep.
we were never designed to live without the sun.
Hmm.
And we were never designed to be sprayed with sunblock.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest myths that I feel like we've been living under is that um we need to stay out of the sun and shield ourselves from the life-giving force of the sun.
Yeah. I know, I mean, myself included, have used sunblock my whole life
Yeah.
because too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And there, skin cancer is definitely a fear, a factor that needs to be weighed in on, but there's negatives that are coming from the chemicals that you're putting on trying to block it, and also the blocking of all of that energy isn't a
Yeah.
good thing either.
I think I'd go as far as to say that we're blocking the wrong type of rays.
Yeah.
And I would love to get into that in the future. But we are spraying chemicals on our skin that our skin is absorbing. And that's what sunblock is.
Hmm.
It's the skin absorbing the chemicals to keep out the rays of the sun. And frankly, we need those rays to
Hmm.
run the machine that we are. And if you block those rays and you also throw on some chemicals, you can be doing your body a big disservice.
Hmm.
And the most deadly forms of skin cancer don't come from getting tan in the sun.
No, they're coming from and they're coming in parts of the body that aren't even exposed to sun necessarily. Some of the most deadly ones.
That's really smart of you.
Yeah.
So, am I saying go in the sun and get a big sunburn and
No.
call it good? You're healthy? No. A sunburn is damaging.
Hmm.
We know it's damaging. It's not what we want for our body, and it's one of the worst things that can happen to our body. We don't want a sunburn.
Hmm.
Am I saying build melanin in your skin and get exposed in healthy doses to the sun? I'm saying that is imperative.
Hmm.
If we are especially sunrise sun, I think is imperative to the cellular function in our bodies.
Okay.
So I would propose um, that we are in the sun without any sunblock
Hmm.
in gradual increments so that we can build the melanin in our body that we need to function in the sun without burning.
Hmm.
And we avoid the midday sun.
Yep.
Animals do.
Yep.
Lions don't go play at high noon.
Hmm.
They lay under a tree, they lay in the shade. And I think there are zero mistakes that nature makes.
Yeah.
If we follow what nature follows, it's really hard to make a mistake.
Mhm.
So
And there's nothing wrong with still getting the sun in the middle of the day, but maybe it's with a long sleeve shirt or a hat to protect more of that from the, the high UV index light,
Yes, kind of.
kind of.
Yeah. Um, we want some of that.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just saying if you're going to be outside for like 8 hours
Oh yeah.
in the middle of the day.
If you are a European person,
Mhm.
your ancestry goes back to Northern Europe, um, being out all day in the sun suddenly is, it's just not going to work.
Mhm.
Um, but if you have a gradual adaptation to a certain amount of that sun radiation that is necessary to run the system of the body.
Okay.
Yeah. Have we have we got the sun part down?
Oh, I mean, this is something I think that's going to continue to be a talking point, and we're going to get further and deeper into the subject in subsequent episodes. But again, I think this was the purpose to lay the foundation. So yes, we're not going to go into the deep science on
Yeah.
these things today.
And for all the nerds who will be joining us, I would love to go into the deep science of how the photons are necessary for our body, much like they are for plants. But I did see like a lot of hype recently around red light therapy.
Hmm.
And everyone's got those masks, those
Yes, they're
facial
very, very trendy right now.
UV masks where you look like, I don't
I
know.
don't know. They're creepy. That's
They're
yeah.
they're creepy and everyone's got one on. And I think that the premise behind them is smart.
Hmm.
Red light does help with a lot of function in our cells. And to be able to put red light in front of us can be super healing.
Hmm.
But I think when you put electric charge, even red light therapy, like right on your face,
Hmm.
you're introducing a world of other problems with electromagnetic
Hmm.
forces and energy.
And I think there's also an argument there with it being right on your skin. Like if someone's doing that, really pay attention to the quality of
Yeah.
the product. Not all things are created equal. They never have been.
Yeah.
You can go to a restaurant and get a meal for $3. You can go to a restaurant and spend $300 on a
Yes.
meal. They're going to be different meals.
Yes.
I think the same thing goes with anything like this. And there's going to be a quality difference. And not just saying that cost dictates quality, but
Sometimes.
it's usually a very good metric, at least on some levels, and make sure that if you are using those, that they are not also causing damage at the same time.
Yeah. So if you're getting a ton of, um, let's call it electromagnetic
Hmm. Radiation.
interference,
Okay.
radiation,
Okay.
call it radiation.
Sure.
Um, the benefit to wearing the red light is moot.
Yeah. Being offset.
Yeah. So let's look for some maybe battery powered masks. They seem to be less electromagnetically active.
Hmm.
Let's look for brands that promote low, what I would call EMFs
Hmm.
or magnetic frequencies. And maybe we're not wearing it right here.
Hmm.
Maybe it's here.
Yeah.
So we're still getting the benefit from the red light, but we're not getting the other side items that might go with it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I love red light therapy. I love the thought of like infrared saunas.
Hmm.
There's so much benefit and healing that comes from that therapy,
Hmm.
but it's not to replace the natural sun.
Hmm.
But if you are one of those people and your lifestyle is that you cannot get outside during the day,
Yeah.
I think it's better
It's a
than
supplement.
nothing.
It's a wonderful
Yeah.
supplement that, yeah, if your lifestyle means that
Mhm.
you're 5 days a week, all day, inside and not getting
Yeah.
light, that is this something that could benefit me holistically to,
Right.
yes, then it is a wonderful, everything is about, and I think that's what about this podcast is focused on, is what can we do to move the needle towards the most positive change, towards the most positive lifestyle and health that someone can
Agreed.
have. And it, yeah, not everyone has the luxury of being able to be outside 8 hours every day because of their career, because of their
Mhm.
responsibilities, their commitments. But what can we do? What can they do
Yeah.
in order to offset some of the negatives or to improve the quality of life
But
otherwise?
let's be careful with that
Okay.
because just saying, okay, I'm going to have this lifestyle
Hmm.
and I'm going to offset it with a red light panel and I'm going to be good.
That's fair.
I think that's where we've been going.
Sure.
And
So more of a return to what used to be the norm.
yeah, I would question and I have questioned my career based on those very scenarios.
Hmm.
Um I would question whether I mean, what is the end game when you do work inside 5 days a week and you never see the morning, afternoon, or most of the evening sun?
Hmm.
The end game is what? Um, money for your family.
Hmm.
But if the overall health of your family is poor because you don't have time to live naturally with the natural resources that our planet has, then I think the bigger picture is that maybe you question how you can rearrange your lifestyle,
Like a reprioritization.
a reprioritization. And I'm not saying like quit your job and, but
Light it all on fire and
maybe,
maybe.
but it doesn't make sense to me that like we're living so unnaturally that we're going to keep working the way we're working and we're going to take a bunch of supplements to cover up the underlying deficiency in our body and we're going to try to throw some red light therapy at it and then we're going to go and take some chemicals to attempt to rebalance.
Supplement, supplement, supplement.
It's the I want to propose that that might not be the right path
Yeah.
and that supplements in general may not be the right path.
I think it's going back a little bit also to what we were talking about in a previous episode of suppression based, suppression of symptoms based medicine of, well, this, my body's getting inflamed, give me this medication to stop the inflammation. It's like, well, what's causing the
What's
inflammation?
causing it?
So it sounds like what you're saying is similarly, rather than do more supplements, take this pill,
Yeah.
take this vitamin, take this therapy, take this, evaluate the underlying problem and
Yeah.
address the underlying problem rather than suppressing the symptoms, rather than masking what the real issue
Yeah.
is. And that's, we've moved too far away from how we were ever programmed to function.
We have.
Yeah,
And if you ask me why you have tooth decay, um, and you, is it carbohydrates? That's part of it.
sure.
But I can't explain to you how to have a healthier mouth and as a result, a healthier body
Mhm,
without addressing these other factors
mhm.
because I can give you a pharmaceutical in an attempt to help with your tooth decay.
Yeah,
In the past, it's been fluoride. Um, I can I can repair your tooth, but if the underlying physiological issues are not resolved, I really haven't done anything that's going to long term move the needle, as you said.
yeah. I'm going to pause real quick. We've got someone that has been on their phone. I'm going to shut the door.
Okay,
We'll be back in just 1 second,
sounds
and
good.
we can pick up where we were talking about tooth decay and
Perfect.
everything. So my apologies. We'll be right back. Let me know when you're good.
I'm good.
Okay. Sorry about that. We had a loud neighbor that their phone call just wouldn't end, so I wanted to fix that noise. So apologies there. I think where we left off, you were talking about an inability to treat tooth decay just based on maybe too many carbohydrates, although that is also a factor, but it's not the only factor. So can you
Sure.
pick up from where we left off?
I would love to.
Okay.
So it's my job to help people have a healthy oral environment so that they have a healthy body environment.
Hmm.
But our health is also about, light. We talked about sleep. We haven't talked about, but we will.
Hmm.
Stress, food quality, um, toxins, and the energy that surrounds us. And I can't get someone to stop having tooth decay if those things aren't looked at.
Okay. So it's not just about brushing teeth and diet.
No, because I have a lot of patients and they'll tell me they do everything right.
Hmm.
They brush,
And floss,
they floss, they eat right,
they work out.
they work out. And I think that's the assumption that we've been under, that that's it.
You do those things and you're
Mhm.
healthy.
And they're frustrated,
Yeah.
and they, they've kind of given up hope on it
Hmm.
because they see their spouse who doesn't brush and they don't have cavities. And but I think what we need to do is be willing to look at the more important factors that underlie our health.
Okay.
And moving forward, when we start talking about like tooth details, it will make a lot more sense that there's so much more that we need to be aware of than where we've traditionally been. So, we're not separate from nature,
Hmm.
and our biology responds to light and rhythm and sound. And when we stop fighting that and we start realizing that we want to get back to that balance, then I think that's where true health begins.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning. Yeah.
Nice. I know you had mentioned in a conversation we had had previously about importance of water and energy and as it relates. Is that something that you want to save for a later time, or is that something you'd like to touch on really quickly?
I'd like to touch on it really
Okay.
quickly. So if you ask me what the two most important factors in our environment are, I'm gonna say light and water.
Okay. We
Be-
touched on light.
hmm
Again, just the tip of the iceberg
Right.
for the last 40 minutes or so. And the second one being
Being water.
water.
You don't find life where there's no light, and you don't find life where there's no water.
Hmm.
And so
The two prerequisites.
the two prerequisites, and water, it plays a role in everything in our body.
Okay.
And so I want to talk a lot about water in the future,
Hmm.
and not just drinking water.
Okay.
I want to talk about how our body uses water, and the forms of water that we're used to thinking about, there's more to it
Okay.
than just like staying hydrated.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things to unpack in the future here,
Okay.
and that's what Vital Vibes is for.
So this is digging in a little bit more to the physics behind water then?
Digging into the physics behind water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And digging into the physics behind sleep and light and magnetism.
Hmm.
And that's what Vital Vibes is.
Okay.
So I can't wait to begin to unpack it, in our conversations between you and I.
Hmm.
I
And that's why
can't,
we also have guests as well that,
yeah,
are experts in their fields in order
yes,
to dive into a little bit more of the nuance and the detail and the research that
yeah,
backs that up.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I hope that sort of clears up like why we decided not to just dive into like the tooth conversation and be like, this is root canals or this is dental implants, because the reason that those things work or don't work is deep.
Hmm.
It's way deeper than what I could have just explained in the podcast that we tried to make. But I think if we start to look at and understand the underlying influences and the importance on our body, then we will start to understand why those things work or don't work in our mouth and our body.
Hmm. Okay.
And that's why I made this podcast because I mean, I've been a dentist for a long time. I could
Yeah.
have just kept being a dentist and I could have just kept doing tooth repair. There's plenty of that out there.
Oh yeah.
But but through my own experiences with my health and with this just like underlying excitement about physics, um I just started to put more together and I know like we're on to something big here.
Hmm.
And intuitively, I think people understand that what we have been doing isn't working.
Hmm.
I mean, we're just getting sicker.
Yeah.
And
Do you think that's been a recent thing?
yeah,
Okay.
I do.
And how long?
Um, I think it's become exponentially more obvious since we started having, you know, our whole life revolve around our cell phone
Hmm.
and our computer.
Hmm.
I think it's been underlying for a long time.
Hmm.
The nutrition was getting worse. The the working hours were getting longer, but now we're really hitting I would say one of the most critical moments in human history for our health.
Hmm.
And it's
We're at a fork in the road, and I think it's the direction that we as a civilization choose. We're kind of at that crossroads, but it's also our time as individuals to make a choice of how we want to
yeah.
participate in that decision, or how whether we want to be part of the group that goes right at the crossroads instead of left, or left at the crossroads instead of
Yeah.
right.
It
What?
could be, I mean, some people have proposed it's as big as the next extinction
Mhm.
model. And do we go left or do we go right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think we're getting to a point where we have to make some really big decisions.
And I think those decisions are best made when they're informed
Yeah.
and they're taking in as much information as possible, and not just putting blinders on to this is what I'm being told, this is what I'm being
Yeah.
fed, and that's what I'll do. No,
Yeah.
it's not saying that you have to question every little thing in life, but when it comes to your health
Hmm.
and your lifestyle and the your family, those are such important things that I think they're worthy of questioning.
Yeah. It's time
Um,
to get curious.
to get curious and to research and
Yeah.
not just be spoon fed
Yes.
what you're going to do and how you're going to behave. No, pay attention and listen and learn, and then make your decision
Right.
based on the information that you've had.
I want to I want to show people that maybe there's a different way to move forward
Yeah.
and to give you things to think about, especially if you're experiencing any of the problems, that we've been touching on,
Yeah.
to give you things for you to go and research and make your own decisions with more information than we are traditionally being given.
Hmm.
And if you're not, if you're a doctor or a healthcare provider and you're not helping your patient see this other side, then you're complicit.
Hmm.
And I don't want to be that.
Sure.
That's not why
You
I
got in
took on
medicine.
this profession.
Yeah.
It is my passion
Hmm.
to help people and to help people understand their health.
And this is the way that you think is best
I
to
think
help those patients, to help those people, to help our listeners even.
I think it's imperative,
Yeah.
and I won't be complicit.
Yeah.
And that's what Vital Vibes is about.
Okay.
So now we can move forward. I think into diving deeper into some of these topics
Other
and how
topics.
they relate to your teeth and your mouth.
Yeah, and I think having episodes that focus on one thing at a time and really getting a
Yeah,
deep dive into those, um, excuse me, sort of the next step.
I think so too.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I mean, I think it's just, I think the listeners and the people who are watching our podcast, um, I think this might be a great segue for you to take control of, where you're headed in your own health. And I'm hoping we can help in that journey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I'll just put a couple of sort of the producer notes here for at the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you listening. This is something that we are both very passionate about,
Yeah.
and your support is very valuable. With the launch of the podcast, we got all the fun stuff of getting it pushed out on all the different platforms and
Yes.
channels. We are now, to my knowledge, on all of the major ones: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. If you're there, like or subscribe. I know those things are incredibly helpful
Yeah.
and continue to support the growth of this podcast so that we can get the message out further. So that's helpful. If you have questions, comments, or thoughts, please, you can email us at vitalvibespodcast@gmail.com, all one word, or leave a comment on either YouTube or Spotify, and we'll be checking those and responding. I know we'll be having some Q&A style podcasts later down the road
Yeah.
where we can kind of answer some of the bigger questions that listeners have specifically. And
Yeah. If you like what you hear, tell your friends.
yes, please, shares are great.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're on social media now. We are Instagram. God, what is it? Vital Vibes Podcast.
That's right.
Yep. So
We'll see you there.
perfect. Thanks again for joining.
Let's go to the beach.
Okay. Bye all.
Bye.